Welcome back to the live desk. I'm Katie Bird. Today I am joined by Dan Foyle. He is a local cowboy who went viral on TikTok and even was shared by Justin Bieber himself for a dance at the KCI airport. Dan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Katie. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So, can you start just by walking me through what made you want to start posting on TikTok?
Man, I don't know that I ever really wanted to. I just accidental. So my daughter was playing around with the horses, and she takes her camera out and she sets it on the fence, and she takes the fence cap off. And one day the fence cap was left off, and they were about $9 a piece. So I started off to do a kind of a dad lecture to her, and I set my phone on there, and I had a CeeLo Green song going through my head. So I started doing a little dance to it, and the horses were behind me, and they looked at it, and I posted it. Didn't really think anything about it, and I had lunch with a customer. I worked for a storage company called Infinidat, and anyway, so we went out and uh, I'm at lunch and my phone's just blowing up. And my son calls me and says, "Dad, you're going viral." And that was kind of the beginning of it. And next thing you know, I don't know how quick, but I'm up to, 240 something thousand followers on TikTok and then 100 and something thousand on Instagram. And I don't even know how much on the others.
Well, congratulations on your recent social media success. And so I see some horses there in the background. When did you decide to start incorporating them into your videos?
Um, it was all just kind of spur of the moment, no pun intended. It was they were behind me. They stick their heads out. They're curious. Probably the funniest part about the first video is they look at each other and they're basically looking at me, and it kind of looks like they're laughing at me a little bit, kind of like everybody else does. Um, I think the airport ones were what I became the most known for. Was a buddy of mine. We were doing what's called a quarterly business review in Las Vegas, and a buddy of mine, we were sitting at the airport bar, and he goes, "Dude, you ought to do one in the airport." I'm like, "Nah, I'm not going to do that." And so I set my phone up against a napkin stand and went over and started dancing, you know. And of course, I'm listening in an earbud, so nobody else can hear the music. And they're just walking by me, looking at me like, "Is he having a medical condition or what's going on here?" And so anyway, and then that one went pretty viral as well. And then Snoop Dogg reposted one of my videos. He remixed it, reposted it, and I've had a couple others that have remixed some of the dances, which they actually do better at remixing it than some of my original music is. But it's all fun.
So, what was your initial reaction when you found out that Justin Bieber shared the video of you dancing at the KCI airport?
So I think my daughter was more like impressed with me than I was. She's like, "Oh my gosh, Dad!" And we were actually in Oklahoma City at a horse show, and a friend of mine that has uh, a he does cooking and stuff he's cooking for the flood victims down in Texas last week, and he called me. He's like, "Dude, is this you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess it is." And and so I guess I was surprised by it. But I try not to get too wound around the axles about it. I like that song though. That Daisy song is a good one.
So, do you have any plans in the future for any collaborations with new videos?
No, I don't really have any plans. I haven't planned anything thus far. I find that some of the stuff I try to plan it doesn't seem real, or it's not. I don't know. It's just too fake, I guess is the way I'd put it. I just want to be, I'm here to have fun. I'm not here to try to. I mean, if I get followers, great. And if I make people laugh, great. And if people enjoy it, or maybe some old geezer like me will get up and start dancing and get in a little better shape if he sees me dancing. But mainly, I just want people to laugh and have a good time. And as my wife would tell you, the best way to get me not to do something is to tell me to do it. So I try not to plan ahead too much.
Well, I think that's a great mindset and mission to have. And so I am curious, do you choreograph these dances or do you just make them up as you go?
No, I just make them up as I go. It's kind of funny. That's probably the comment I get the most is, "Why don't you do a different dance?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not really doing a dance. I never know what I'm going to do when I go into it, and I just start dancing and having fun, and they all kind of come out the same." Uh, but I don't have like a dance, and if somebody wanted to teach me a dance, I probably would have a hard time learning it because just I don't remember the dance steps or all that kind of stuff. I just kind of do what I want to do.
Well, there you go. And I'm curious, with you recently going viral, have you been noticed by any fans or followers in the community?
Yeah, every once in a while, it's always kind of fun. And I'll have people walk up and my wife gets a laugh out of these, middle-aged grown men walking up going, "Hey, can I get my picture with you?" And I'm like, "Sure." Uh, it's kind of different, but I don't consider myself famous or a celebrity or anything like that. And so I'm always a little surprised when somebody goes, "Hey, are you the dancing cowboy guy?" I'm like, "Yeah." But yeah, I get recognized. It's kind of funny because if I want to not get recognized, best place for me to go is a rodeo because everybody looks just like me. But if I'm at the airport and I'm wearing my cowboy hat, my cowboy boots, or something like that, then people will recognize me sometimes.
Well, that is awesome. And I know that you have the horses behind you. Did you want to do any of the dances now for the interview?
Oh, I don't know. I hadn't thought about that. What do you want me to do? I don't have any music.
It's totally up to you. How about you can
Here,
send me. There you go.
I'll just ad lib it. Now y'all can just.
Awesome.
And this is how most of
Awesome.
my videos start because I do my own. I end up hitting the record button and then stepping back from it. So I did
uh,
have an agent one time that asked me that she was wanting to. They were trying to be my agent. She goes, "So who does your video?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Well, who's your videographer? And who's your sound guy? And who's your this? And who's your that?" And I'm like, "Well, if you ever watched any of my videos, they all start the same way with me pushing the record button and then going back and dancing." So,
well, that is great. And then, Dan, could you scoot back just a little bit as I ask you these last couple questions just for the angle? You
sure.
can come forward a little bit more. Sorry. I'll let you know whenever to stop. All right. And then, can you scoot over just a little bit so you're in the center of the screen there?
Oh,
Other
other way.
way. Yep. Perfect. All right. So, what are your TikToking and social media goals going forward with your newfound success?
I don't know. I think just keep make people happy, make people laugh, have a good time. I don't really have any goals like on number of followers or views or anything like that. And, I've been pretty good about not getting a lot of hate comments and that kind of thing. And there's so much bullying and stuff that goes on online that I just kind of want to bring a little bit of lightheartedness to the internet and not take everything so serious. Really, that's pretty much my biggest goal.
I think that is a great goal. And so I do have one more question for you. What is your message to your followers and the Kansas City community? I know you said you want to spread positivity.
Yeah, I think also is just get out and move. I lead a fairly active lifestyle, just keeping up with everything, but I also work an office job, so it'd be real easy for me to sit in my 62-degree office all day and work on the computer and all that. But I think just getting out and dancing, getting out and being outside, getting some sunshine. We live in a Kansas City is such a great community. I mean, I've lived in a lot of different places, went to a lot of different places in the military, but it's just such a great community. There's so many great parks. There's so many great places to go outside. And that's what I'd say is just, even though it's a little hot today or whatever, who cares? Just get out, get some sunshine and get some exercise and stay moving. And then as far as dancing goes, you don't even have to be a good dancer to like dancing. Some of the worst dancers I've ever seen had the best times I've ever seen. So don't get wound around the axles about whether you think you're a good dancer or you're not a good dancer. I didn't start doing these TikToks till I was 56. So just get out and have fun.
That is a great message. Thank you so much. And then one last question. If you could say
Sure.
anything to Justin and Snoop Dogg who have shared your videos on their own social media platforms, what would it be?
Oh, well, I mean, thanks for sharing it. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it and appreciate you exposing it to all your followers. And I mean, both of them, those guys are legends and they're just cool. So I would just say thanks.
That's great. Well, maybe they'll have to have you as a guest star in one of their concerts coming up here soon. Dan, thank you again so much for joining me on the live desk and congratulations on your recent success on social media.
Thank you, Katie. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Thank you. And then